Oh, welcome everybody. It's so great to see you. We are so happy to be here today with Deputy Mayor Cedric Grant, to Brian Lawler, who is the Director of Housing Policy, Jeff Hebert, the Director of Blight Strategy, to Brian Swayze, the State of Louisiana Office of Community Development, Donna Talley, our friend from NeighborWorks. We have a number of folks here from the Jeremiah Group, led by Miss Jackie Jones. We have representatives of the New Orleans Metropolitan Realtors, and we have other lenders and training organizations. Fred Johnson is here, one of the great advocates for the city of New Orleans and a man who has done a tremendous amount for so many New Orleans citizens. Puentes is with us, so I thank them, and I know that we will be joined by some council members in just a moment who are in the budget. I'm very excited today to launch a $52.3 million soft second mortgage home buyer assistance initiative. This has been a long time in coming. There have been starts and stops on both the state and local levels. We basically took the moment to grab this plan that was not working well, brought all the partners to the table, tried to figure out where the problems were, and designed a strategy that we think fixes the problems and will ultimately put somewhere close to 1,000 New Orleans citizens in homes in the next 24 to 36 months. It is a direct goal, it's a simple goal, it's an achievable goal, and it is one that, in my opinion, based on the work that's been done by the folks standing around me, will in fact be accomplished. This $52.3 million of hurricane recovery grant dollars will help, as I said, first-time home buyers. It's going to provide gap funding for low and moderate income families to buy homes for the first time. It's going to serve families up to 120% of the area median income, which is about $73,000 for a family of four. I'm going to have Brian Lawler talk in a minute about the specifics of the program, but I have said many times the successes that we have had together in the city of New Orleans, the ones that have actually worked, have always been through collaboration, through coordination. Federal, state, and local officials working with community organizations, faith-based organizations, not-for-profits coming together, bringing the knowledge that they have from the things that they did well and the things that they did poorly, coming up with a common goal, making sure everybody knows what they're supposed to do, and coming together with a timeline and a budget so that we can actually achieve the goals on time, on budget, as well. And so I'm very excited that Brian Lawler, who came to us from running a major housing initiative in New York City, has brought his talent to us. He's also a young man that has lived here off and on for a very, very long period of time under the guidance and direction of Cedric Grant, and in partnership with Jeff Hebert. These three gentlemen and all the people standing around me organized and designed this new strategy that I have no doubt will be implemented in a wonderful way. And I am very excited to watch its implementation and to make sure that at the end of the day, between 24 and 36 months, we're going to have somewhere between 750 and 1,000 American citizens who happen to be New Orleanians anchoring communities that are very close to the best schools in the country, the best health clinics in the country, and the best economic development producers that small businesses can generate. So I want to thank all of you on behalf of the people of the city for everything that you have done, and I want to ask Brian to talk a little bit about the specifics, and the other speakers will follow him. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor. It's really an honor to be part of this team of your administration, and I think this program really reflects the best of your administration and this program. As you said, this program has been a long time coming. It's been a lot of stops and starts, and what we did to make this program what it is today was reach out to the community, to Jeremiah, to the lenders, to the realtors, to the homebuyer counselors, to make sure that we were designing a program that would be right, that would work, and that fit the needs of the community. Because a program like this really is designed to stabilize communities. We're going to make a lot of people homeowners who can't be homeowners today, not because they don't have enough money to pay a mortgage, but because rents are so high that it's tough for them to assemble a down payment, a closing cost, of real savings. So we know that home ownership builds communities. We know that it eases the housing burden on people and really develops communities, and that's our goal today. And we're going to do that in two ways. One, through what we call direct home buyer assistance, which is for families and households who are able to go out and find a home, get some counseling, home buyer assistance. We've worked very closely with home buyer counselors to get people ready for home ownership, ready to assume debt, and it's all about getting the right people in the right home with the right loan. And we worked with the realtors and the bankers so that the process should be fast, swift. You basically pre-qualify through counselors and lenders. Everybody knows what the rules are, so that by the time it comes to the city, it should be a quick turnaround, working with the state to get money to a closing table and get that family to be a home buyer. The next part of the program that we have that's a couple of weeks away, we work very closely with Jeff Aber, our Director of Blight, to identify blighted properties that are ready for development. We're going to assemble those sites, make them available to developers, and make commitments to them of if you deliver those homes at affordable prices for low and moderate income buyers, we'll set aside home buyer assistance for a certain number of units. So we expect that to be rolled out in a couple of weeks. It's going to be a very exciting program. It's going to target particular place-based development areas that strategically invest the city's funds, and we're very excited about that. That should be really make a difference in a lot of communities. So again, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for letting me be part of your team and assemble this team. I'm really proud of all the people who contributed. Every door that I knocked on, everybody answered the door and reached out a hand, particularly Jeremiah, who's really responsible for having this money come to the city. My honor to introduce my compadre, my state counterpart, Brad Sweezy, who's been instrumental in getting this program where it is today.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys letting me come here today. This, as the mayor has said and Brian has said, this has been a start and stop, but I can tell you that the program that the city has designed is going to be effective, efficient, and it's going to hit the results that they're looking for. And without Mayor Landrieu's guidance and determination to get this off the ground, families, 750 to 1,000 families that we're talking about, wouldn't own a home. They wouldn't have a place to call their own. The children wouldn't have a room that they can call their own or a backyard of their own. This is going to be the first time a lot of these families ever get this opportunity. And not only this opportunity is going to enable them to have that home, it's going to enable them to build family wealth, which they can pass down for generations. And I can't thank the city enough. And through the starts and stops of this program, the blessing is now that we actually have this opportunity. We have this design that they have put together, and it will be a success, and have no doubts. And the state, on our behalf, we are going to be an enabler, and we're going to help and get that money down as fast as we can. And we want to see this done 24 months, like you said, maybe 18 months. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. I want to come back up because I want to introduce Jackie Jones. You know, government programs, in order for them to work in partnership with the private sector, you always need to have incentive. And one of the great incentive is community leaders that keep you on time, right, and make sure you get where you're supposed to go. And I think Brian said it and other folks said it, this would not have gotten done without, you know, community groups. Fred has been there the entire time. Fuentes has been there. And the Jeremiah group has been the one that's kept everybody focused and would not give up. And Jackie is here today, who is a lead organizer at the Jeremiah Group, and I really want to personally thank her for her vigilance and her commitment and her constructive engagement. That's really important because not everybody is constructively engaged. There are a lot of people that are engaged that don't lead to anything, but constructive engagement is a beautiful thing, and she's great at it. So, Jackie, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. If you'll come up and give us a couple of comments and thoughts, we'd appreciate it.
This is a historical moment, and I'm overjoyed to stand with the mayor, his staff, the Jeremiah Group, and other community organizations to roll out the largest affordable homeownership strategy in this city's history. 4 years ago, we, the Jeremiah Group, a faith-based but yet citizens organization, we fought for and we won a unanimous vote from the LRA to set aside $75 million for home ownership. And of that $75 million, $52 million was allocated to the city of New Orleans. It was our belief that a program of this nature would provide affordable homes for first-time buyers, but it would also address blight. And we believe that this strategy could do three things. One, it would provide an opportunity for families below 80% of the AMI to become home ownership. We also believe that it would provide great stability for our neighborhoods. And just as important, we thought that these properties would generate funds for the city. Now, working closely with Mr. Lawler, we have worked hard, intentional, and have built a beautiful relationship. And in the last 3 to 4 months, we have accomplished much. Not a lot, we've accomplished much working with him. In our goal, we want to see people who could never become home buyers have that opportunity to build wealth. We wanted to see 50% of these funds set aside for people 80 and below the AMI. But at the same time, people at 120 of AMI can qualify for these funds. So I stand here today excited, glad to see this become a reality, and I want to thank the city for working so closely and cooperative with Jeremiah. Thank you.
Thank you. Fred Johnson, New Orleans Neighborhood Development Foundation, CEO, homebuyer trainer, outreach specialist, all of the good things. But thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, the state of Louisiana. Thank you, the press, for covering this, because we really need to build our communities. Strong communities build strong cities. And just for some FYI, we're going to make certain that these buyers are well-trained, well-educated, and that we're not going to force-fit anyone into mortgages who don't belong in them. So it's not a giveaway program. It's not a welfare program. It's a self-help program. So for the public out there that's listening, say, oh, here we go again. No, it's not quite like that. And because of the history of homebuyer training, when you look at the foreclosure rates, you can see that the people who were educated fared out far much better than those that were not. So they know not to deal with adjusted rate mortgages and interest only and balloon notes, because we don't allow the predatory people to participate in this process. So again, thank you, New Orleans, and certainly thank you, the state of Louisiana and the mayor of our great city.
Just a couple of follow-up comments, and I know that sometimes people get tired of hearing me say it, but I'm going to say it again because it's important. Everything that has succeeded in this city, let me say it another way, the only things that have succeeded in this city are the ones where you have had citizens who took personal responsibility for themselves and for their family, gotten help from individuals who knew about the thing they were trying to do, the trainers, Fred, right? The faith-based community, Jeremiah, not-for-profits putting in their piece, the private sector, the realtors, and then really good coordination, communication, collaboration, command and control between the federal, state, and local entities. Anywhere that way has been present, there has been a success at the end of what turned out to be a rainbow. And that's it. So there is a thing. In this instance, it's a $52.4 million soft second program, or it could be the redesign of NORD, or it could be the NOLA Business Alliance, or it could be the Hyatt Regency. Any one of those things had these component parts in it with constructive and principled an aggressive argument about which way to go, with the community demanding expectations of us. This program has had starts and stops over the time. Some people tried it, it didn't work. All that's past history. This program is going to work, and it's going to work because we finally have figured out how to put the ingredients together. And I'm thrilled about it because the way is going to get us there, but it's the thing that is so incredible. If you can think now, in 24 to 36 months, you're going to have somewhere between 750 and 1,000 American citizens who, for the first time, own their own home and can begin to build not only generations of wealth, but generations of economic opportunity and educational attainment for their children. Those things are foundational and fundamental bricks in how you build one of the best cities in America. And this is a very small brick and a very important foundation that will live for many years to come. So the work that all of you have done up to this point, I said up to this point, has been good, because we're going to check ourselves, and we will no doubt be held accountable by the people of the city and absolutely the Jeremiah Group. Right, Jack? All right, thank you all so much. We'll be happy to try to answer any detailed questions that you have.
Go ahead, Amy. One thing I've already started hearing from people is, how do I sign up for this? Before, it was done through FANO, and people, that was a known quantity.
Correct.
People are confused. How
Right.
do they get
We're going to, at one point, the state tried to do a piece of this, and FANO tried to do it. We all consolidated this, and there's some direct, clear answers. Brian's going to give them to you now, and it'll be easy to access.
We're going live with a website today that has all the information that you need: who's eligible, what banks are participating, what realtors are participating, and most importantly, what homebuyer counseling agencies are open and ready to accept candidates. We encourage them to go to homebuyer counseling first to make sure they're ready to take on a home. That would, homebuyer counselors, they're all listed on our website. We're going to hand them out to the press today also. That will get the people started on the way. They'll be able to review their eligibility for the program, whether their credit score is ready to get a mortgage. People will come to the city at the end of the process. We work closely with realtors and lenders up front so that someone has to go through homebuyer training, find an appropriate house, get a mortgage. They come to us to fill the gap between what they can afford and what they can borrow and what they can afford.
They don't have access to a computer. What phone number do they call?
That is, it's on the website.
www.homebuyer.gov/.
Some seconds. Is it in the?
We'll give it to you.
Apologize.
There's a phone number. It's on the website. Call
David.
658-4900. 504-658-4900 and ask them, and they will tell you who to call.
On the
If you don't have a phone, go on the website.
on the second portion of this, how do you ensure that people, developers who get the money on the front end, follow through and finish it up? I know we're talking about covenants. We've seen other programs that had covenants attached that didn't do a great job of ensuring that people followed through and did what they had to do. So how do you enforce?
That's a great question, because we are not giving the money to developers. We're asking developers to assemble sites. We're thinking between 10, 15, 20 sites, hopefully historic blighted properties. Asking them to, the dream team that we've designed is a competent builder, and we've met with the Home Builders Association, and they've assured us that there are models for affordable homes to build. To team up with a local community-based organization who will have access to a homebuyer counselor and identify a market and pick out the sites. And then the developer goes to a lender who gets a construction commitment to build, comes to us, and we make a commitment to them of, if you build those houses and sell them for those prices, we will help that number of home buyers purchase these homes from you. So no public dollars will pass until the house is delivered, it's got a certificate of occupancy, and we have an eligible home buyer.
Anybody? Questions? All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.